you
Sorry, dude. Go ahead.
Yeah, no worry. If you look at a chart of the interest rates, you can just pull up like mortgage rates, whatever, and then you look at a chart of the S&P 500, the Dow, whatever, over the course of time where these rates have just gone lower and lower and lower. It's such an amazing inverse relationship, right? So what I keep thinking is, if the market hit all-time highs when the interest rate hit all-time lows, how are we going to reverse the markets if the interest rates don't also reverse? You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's the first time in a while that they've, like, the market was going up recently, right? And interest rates were going, this not recent, but in recent history, I don't know if that's not normal though. You know what I mean?
Right. So yeah, I just was really fascinated by the long view, which is, interest rates are just down and to the right, and the market is up and to the right. And so anyway, yeah, just kind of wondering what the correlation will be going forward. That's all. Just
well, no, that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely I think that's why there's so much. There's debate, not just on FinTwit though. I mean, you see it in news articles and publications. I mean, people are definitely, they're confident in their opinions, but then you kind of get this idea, or I've gotten this idea that we're definitely in unprecedented times, right? Like, there's things happening that haven't happened before it's like this every time, yes, but I don't know, like, things just seem different because you hear a lot of people who, come on, some of them know their shit really well. They've been doing this their whole life, their careers in the macro spaces of finance, and markets, but when they're honest, when they're on the spaces, and they're more relaxed, you hear a lot of like, I just really don't know which way it's going to go type of shit, which I find really funny, or not funny, but curious, because it's like, you'd think they'd have a better, I don't know, you'd think people would have not a better grasp, but just, so I was going to overlay this and fucking show what you were just talking about, but,
oh yeah, that would be awesome. No, and just to tag on to what you're saying.
What were you talking about? The 30-year or the 10-year? The 10-year probably.
Yeah, go with that. I don't remember. It was months ago that I did it. I honestly think I actually just did mortgage rates just because that was, but
oh, that's true too. Well, yeah, I could do that too, but anyways,
yeah, so maybe the 30, but yeah, that's one of the things that I've absolutely found extremely interesting for pretty much, oh God, maybe the whole time I've been listening to Spaces, because I haven't been listening that long, but which is exactly what you said, is these people who make me seem like I'm in kindergarten, honestly, with, they have so often said that, like, wow, this market is confusing to me. I really don't know what to make of it, because there's so much unprecedented data here that it makes sense that there's not an awful lot of people that can make sense of this and make predictions about the market. Right.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I don't know.
Yeah, I was trying to do it on my phone here real quick, just to.
No, I know it's well, this is it. I can zoom in and out, but there's other ways to hold on. This is I can normally you can pin it to a fucking different pin the scale. Let's see, new left scale. There we go. All right, that's what I wanted.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, you gotta pin it. Yeah, I gotta pin it to the left scale. It's just I don't know why it doesn't automatically do that. But anyways, yeah, this is the difference, right? We've had this, but you do see in certain times, right, where this is what I wanted to point out, that like this is like a inverted, it's definitely inversely correlated in a way, right? But if you look at It's gonna be a bitch. Hold on, let me just go into settings and turn this thing off.
where they jibe, where they match each other in some
Yes,
section.
right. Yeah, I was just thinking we could check out when, see how far it, so basically to there. So that's, let's see, right to there. So what was that? That's from 98 to 03, right? This is SPX, of course, but so they started to correlate back in, I mean, even if you say after this dip, right? That's the 90, right? The what was it liquidity
The
crunch? Or
dot-com stuff.
that no, this is 98. I've heard
Oh,
people
that's
reference
previous. Yeah.
this. Yeah, there
Sorry.
was like, it was like liquidity or something. And this is the interesting thing, guys. There's always the smaller dip, and then the Fed starts to change shit, right? They start to go a little drastic, or they change the monetary policy, which then leads into something like, and obviously this was the dot-com. There, and I'm not, it's not represented on this chart per se, but it's just, I've heard this, not heard it, but if you think about when the minor, like we had that even in 2000, what was that, 17 or 16, right? We had like a little, when with the drop 2018, I guess it was. They printed some money there. They adjusted the way they did QT, something like that, which is why right before, and I may have this wrong, like I may not have this 100% correct, but I know, without like checking the exact names and terms, but like, see how we ran up here before COVID? We were going exponential, even more, more so than we had been. And then we had, COVID came at just the right time for the Fed. There was issues, with the way they were managing shit. But anyways, what are your thoughts on this? Where they do match up though? Because that's kind of what we're getting here, right? See, kind of though, like the market did start to drop.
Yeah, I would. Okay, so one of the things that we know, and this is man, where my memory just I was thinking about when the mortgage companies, the banks were bundling up the mortgages, right? When they just went, crazy, decided to package those up for investors and so on. And I'm trying to remember like exactly when they decided that those were instruments, and how that certainly would have made the markets go up. 2018 there was something about inflation. There was an increase in inflation, but it wasn't really horrific. I'm trying to kind of pull up or remember what else was going on there, but yeah, when it mimics it, yeah, I think you have to kind of have some more data about, okay, so interest rates were going up, but the market was behaving healthy. And so, yeah, why is that? What was happening when that was going on? What is that year where at the very, so your left red zone?
Yeah.
What year does that start?
Sorry. There you go.
98?
Yeah, September 98 to May 03.
Okay. So yeah, I think we would want to look and see, yeah, what was going on there. What that's a 5-year run. But you did have and then it faltered, right? It faltered in 2000. Oh, well, that would have been the .com bubble.
The dot-com bubble started right here. And
Yep.
And that was basically the end of that, is when the correlation went back to, at least the skew. Now, some would argue though, right, that this is still a downtrend, right? All the way to here.
Absolutely, yeah.
And this is still an uptrend, I guess till to this point. It depends. If this is the bottom, then that's still an uptrend. The interest rates have the 30-year, this is fucking crazy. So this is a percentage scale, right? So I don't know if that's
so
a real view, but anyways, that's, you get it. You know what I mean? It's pretty big skew.
One thing I would say about the interest rates is they appear to be the classic lower high, lower low, right? Until you get to that one period where like 2009 or something like that, where it does take a jump. But with the market, it's a pretty classic higher high and higher low as you go along. And then, yeah, and then we can see like when those interest rates started to rise, the market just couldn't deal with it. And, so that's where I think it's just going to be interesting to see going forward, like how much more of rising interest rates the markets will take or can take. And so, a lot of the people that are talking about the recession and bad earnings and so on, and the market has not bottomed out yet. I'm pretty much in that camp, honestly. I mean, I don't really know how much lower it will go than, what we've seen recently, but yeah, I'm definitely in that camp.
Yeah, I mean, I agree too. I just don't think this is, I mean, I could see, I mean, look, anything's possible. So I'm very much like of the mindset. It's just kind of like, this is, could it go higher? Right. Yeah, I think this shit falls down at some point, or it doesn't fall down, but I'm not saying like the US dollar like crumbles, but something has to, I don't know, like this is a big move. I mean, even just from here to here, I mean, I forget what it is. And this isn't even NASDAQ, but I mean, it went up, went up 120% from the bottom to the top. I mean, it doubled what it ever has been. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah, 100%. And that's, when you get those parabolics, I mean, our pullback is pretty equal to that, but I think we kind of have to,
it is almost 30%. You know what I mean? Like this is close enough to 30% that I would argue, I could argue, I guess you could say, I'll put a line on it, I guess, but this thing's going to disappear anyways. But, so that's what 27.5% basically. But you see where my crosshairs is at, it does fit in with this consolidation that we had. And this was an interesting period of time. I remember in 2020, when we hit this, I mean, this was, this is a monthly chart. So we had, 1, 2, really what, 2, I guess you could say 2, almost 3 months before we knew we were going to continue up again, all the way through to November, right? So this was August. So we had all of September, October, and then most of November, and until we actually closed it. And then we were like, okay, look, we broke out above. I remember thinking like maybe this is going to roll us back over, but we never got underneath the previous COVID highs, so, or pre-COVID highs. So I don't know, price action wise, seeing that, it was always interesting. But look what happened here with the 30-year, right? It pumped. I mean, this is where you got lining the candles up. You got kind of like 1 month up, or and a little month kind of consolidating, right? And then here we had another couple months, but once that was done, what was that? Let's see, that was the month down, and then this thing just fucking bink, 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 all like with the market. So like this was, I'm sure if we looked, like there was some printing or there was something going on, maybe not printing.
Is that, I think that's that period that people talk about, all the free money, all the COVID money starts to get pumped in to the market. I've never really known quite what to make of that, because I just, but
it was because so many companies got these
loans and
whatever, what the fuck did they call them, that weren't I mean, they really didn't need it, you know what I mean? What they needed was to be reopened. Like they needed to, they needed the restrictions pulled aside. So
was it the PPP loans?
Yeah, PPP loans. Even my buddy, who owns the house that I'm in, I mean, guy that I talk about every now and then, I mean, he's got, he has, I don't know, maybe 8 employees or something like that. He got it was advised to him to like fill it out, I mean, pretty much everybody's fucking, tax or CPA or, financial guy, financial, I mean, every corporation was like, fill this shit out. Obviously it was small business. So like not the bigger corporations they had something else. Remember, they had like, there was another program for them or whatever for these monsters. But I mean, all these fucking companies that were under, I don't know, it wasn't tiny, right? It wasn't like $10 million or something what they were worth, or under 100 million, I think.
Oh, yeah, I think the governor of California, because he's a business person and he owns restaurants. I think his restaurant group got 1 million. Now we're a mom and pop business and we never took any of those loans, and we thankfully we didn't need them, which was really amazing. But we were, because we do short-term, long-term rentals, right? And the Airbnb, we were full. I mean, people were just, hey, I can live anywhere I want right now. So
Oh, and they're like, get me the fuck out of most of the town. Yeah, because you can go be a stranger, even in a, even if they have the restrictions, or all you're looking for is a little bit less. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like that's what people were looking for. A little bit warmer weather and a little bit less restrictions. Not you saw a lot of movement around for sure. And then obviously, yeah, the work from home is.
Yeah, and San Diego's a very desirable place, despite what the California, the anti-California, whatever. But
yeah, but you guys, I mean, California's fucking huge. I know the state government was, it's like New York State, man. Like where I lived in New York State, as much as it's, it has its issues, it's not New York City, right? Like it's not what people, it's farm country. So
right.
Anyway.
So I was gonna say, so regarding this pullback, so one of my favorite books is this very old book, Technical Analysis of the Stock Market. And so, a classic pullback, right, is anywhere from 1/3 to 2/3 of the run, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I think
I just put the fib on there, so you'll see what. Oh, you know what? I can't. Can I unlock this?
And of course, the beauty of what we do is the macro, as you always say, none of this is really crucial to the day trading. The volatility is insane. The market is just giving money away right and left if you know how to trade it. And so, but I do think for myself, I absolutely, want to put my money back into long-term investments. I mean, I sold my Apple. I had made like 40% on it. I sold too early, but anyway, so I'm kind of waiting to get back in, but this kind of information that we can find in the spaces sometimes, can be really useful. And one thing I want to throw out real quick that Stock Talk Weekly was talking about is how he gets up, like you do often, but he's not doing futures. And he's noticed that he can get in on a stock at 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m., put in his sell order, and then by the time the cash open happens, he can oftentimes get out in 15, 20, 30 minutes because he was able to take advantage of the low prices that are occurring for that 2-hour period. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there for people,
So I heard him say that, and it's SJ. I'm feeling better, guys. Not 100% yet, but I'm feeling better.
Figured you hadn't died, but I was like, I think so. I was telling Neo, I'm like, we got to SJ. She trades futures too sometimes. I'm like, sick. I think she's gonna come back.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Anyway, I heard Stock Talk talking about that, and I guess what my question is he talking about ETFs? Because I can't trade.
No,
he was talking shares.
You have to have a broker. So Webull, right? The reason a lot of people have a Webull account is because they open up to trade pre-market at 4 a.m. Eastern time.
And that's all stocks?
And TOS too.
No,
TOS you can trade?
I can't trade earlier than 7 o'clock, I thought.
No, you know what you have to do?
I could trade ETFs, but I can't trade common stocks.
Oh, you have to call them? Is that it?
No. What it is so it's set, you put it in order and it'll say no, it'll reject it, right? But what you have to do is you have to open up the order ticket in that, and then you have to find what the heck is it? It's not GTC, of course, but it's EXT.
Extended, yeah, it's
Extended.
extended hours, but I mean, did they change that in recent years? I've not bought anything pre-market in probably a year and a half, 2 years now.
Yeah,
But
no,
I
I've
mean,
done it.
that was one of
I've
the
done it.
reasons before, man, I thought,
Mm.
so I know about extended hours, you have to, and there's no, that's the only other issue, there's no limit, you can't have like a stop during, you can't have a stop loss, during, fucking.
Oh, the pre-market.
Yeah, right. You can, I mean, you can put a limit order in, for a sell order, but you can't put necessarily a stop. Can't do a bracket like an OCO order.
Yeah,
So
on my TOS, I can only do ETFs like that.
how early can you trade E ETFs?
Honestly, I don't know. I never paid attention because I don't trade prior to the market being open. Let me see.
I think you could do it. I think you just have to find the area in the ticket that allows you to make those changes, good till cancel, or like I said, whatever it is, EXT or I'm gonna
Yeah,
test.
it's a GTC plus EX2, which is the good till canceled plus extended hours.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it. 'Cause I know previously, I don't know, Tommy, have you had any experience with that? I know you trade, I mean, he's traded on TOS for forever.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking
Cause
to
I've
see
never been able to
see what it
trade-
says right here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
7
I'm logging into mine as well.
7 a.m. was the mark. I mean, that's still considered pre-market, but it's
Oh, and so, sorry.
pre-market's open at 4, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's 4 a.m. my time, so it's 7.
No,
I'm
talking
sorry.
4
I'm
a.m.
sorry. I always forget to adjust
Yeah.
what I'm talking about. Sorry, guys.
No, you're okay. That makes sense. I was like, man, you kidding me? You know how many fucking times, dude? I mean, I was not. I mean, you can't do options. It's just shares. But I mean, it's worth opening up, and it's not just Webull. You can have, if you're someone that's up that early, anyways. I mean, I would prefer to trade futures, but I will say that doesn't help with the tickers that really run pre-market, and there are some amazing runs, and what we've seen this last year. That I didn't get a piece of, but is that at 4 a.m. that it's like it's like what Stock Talk was saying. I wasn't in there at the time, but that I mean, I've seen it on the charts, man. It opens, and it's not just Tesla, where it like opens and it gaps up or gaps down or something, but it literally opens, and over the next 30 minutes to an hour, from 4 to 5 a.m. Eastern time, it's literally going, it's making a huge move, and it may continue up, but eventually we'll either give it back or give back a good chunk of it. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's scanners that can catch that shit for you. I mean, it's definitely a strategy. I prefer to trade the futures, but I mean, I don't know. I've thought about opening up a Webull account. Well, I shouldn't say I still technically have one, but I should probably check that out. It's been 2 years, over 2 years now. So
Yeah, I remember like how that was happening, because I think a while back I was doing Robinhood as one of my accounts, and I would get up and I'd look and I'd say, "Are you kidding me? All the move is all the purchasing, I mean, I'm sorry, the move happened. What am I trying to say? I could have bought the shares at a really cheap price before the cash market opened, and the move was so great after the cash market opened, I would have made a killing." That's very common. Yeah, it's really common.
I mean, it's interesting. The I don't know. It's worth checking out, though. I mean, I would say this. I would trade. I mean, futures, if you're into that, are definitely worthwhile. You can always throw, a little bit of cash in. But well, it depends though. You don't necessarily want a little bit of cash, because the nice thing. Well, it depends. I guess it depends. But I liked trading pre-market. As long as it had enough liquidity, obviously, like I wanted to be able to, if I wanted to buy like 50 shares, I wanted to be able to move that, in an order. not have it get skipped around, because that will happen, right? Like your fill will fucking, someone else will jump in, or it'll move slightly, and then you're not getting filled. But well, listen, I don't know, you guys see this on the screen. Before I forget about it, this is the Fibonacci right now. This is from the bottom, 08, 09, right? 09, February 09. And it's interesting if you look where this is obviously all the way up to the top, right? So at the time, right, with COVID, that's what I wanted to look at. I don't know if you would call it this, but from COVID, right, we basically dipped under. This is on a monthly chart, but we dipped under the. I don't know if you would consider this the beginning of the move or not, but just I'm gonna look at it. We got down. What was it? A 382? Yeah. See, no. All right, that's not what I was looking at. I must. I was gonna say I had the COVID at. I've looked at this long. This is it. Yeah. Okay. From this point here. Yeah. So this is in February 16, after a flat, a couple of years, whatever happened then. I forget exactly what it was, but to the pre-COVID high, gave us a pullback to the 618, right? On a monthly closing basis, we dipped below, and this is how, it's how I was always taught to use the fibs. I think it's pretty common, where what you look for is a break below. A lot of times the 618, sometimes it's the 0.5. It can be more levels than just this, but you look for a break and then a close back above, right? I think they're cutting it off. Maybe not. Okay. Sorry. Space is still going. Can you guys hear that? Is that annoying?
I can't hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't hear it at all.
Okay, good. It's not, I have my phone down, but you can't mute it because it's like a Zoom call. I can't mute it completely because it's using the phone. Like you can never like mute a phone call completely, like by just turning the volume down. You have to have a mute button, which they don't have. Anyways, this was a 618 retracement. So this is what I wanted to point out, I guess, is that this is a pretty standard 618 retracement, right? We got the dip below, closed above the second candle, right? The second candle attempt didn't even, didn't break it. And then obviously, we popped up and had a big run. So if I do that again, kind of looking at it like this from the COVID lows, this is where I get in, and I think like 3,200 down to 3K, right? Granted, we did get a retracement down to the 0.5. We did break it just slightly, right? You guys can see that. And we closed above. So maybe that is, it would, the point, seeing it done at the 0.5 is almost, it's not quite as common as the 618, but it's plenty common enough. If we're going to get a true retracement, which we do, you do see a lot of times, the Fibonacci, play out pretty well. We should get another leg down. The other thing is the whole wave theory, which I'm not, I like it for the macro. I don't know it well enough, and I don't know. I don't want to say, like, it's one of the few things that I think I pay more attention to than most of the, like, the general theories out there for market structure. But I know that the Elliott wave guys are, they expected there should be another leg down. And that's where I think we would come down. I don't know if it'll happen tomorrow. I don't know if it will, maybe it'll happen in 6 months, whatever. But I feel like we should make another leg down, and and at that point break below the 618, but only temporarily, right? Like close it back up above, and then have, and that's our bottom. I wish we had dipped a little lower when on this move here, but we never did in October. So I thought for sure we would have come down to at least to 30, like, basically to this, the body of this bearish candle right here. This is the monthly demand that we just never, we never got to. And that's the thing that just drives me nuts, man. Like the thing that I've learned, right? And this goes back to the, someone was saying something about like, how it doesn't affect us day to day, right? The macro stuff, but I do want to point out that I see it time and time again. And I talked about this a little bit on Green Candles podcast, that the charts on the larger time frame point to areas, right? We don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but when the charts kind of aim towards an area, it's it's like, okay, I know, I feel like there's a high confidence that it's going to get there. It's hard to say when, and the macro events will kind of be the antagonist, right? That'll make it, make the move happen. But at the end of the day, I care less and less. The reason I'm not huge into macro, I like the conversations, but I don't need to, it doesn't really impact my trading, is because I've just from experience, you find an area on the zone or on the charts, right? Whether it's like one of these where it's body of the candle specific, or if it's just a general area, which I'll show you the DXY here in a minute. I tweeted this out, but for what it's worth. But the thing is, like you see it on the charts, and after a while, it's kind of like, okay, that's like, I already see it's there. I want to know, I want to be up to speed with like news that's why I love Twitter and love these communities, because we see, I don't have to pay attention to it as much. Like, same with the flow, right? I don't have to eye through the flow continuously. It probably would be worthwhile to have, at some point have a system that would do it all for us. But it's like, hey, if there's people in the community, like on Twitter and here, Discord and just other, Telegram and fucking, what was the other one? Clubhouse. Yeah. That basically, allow for a lot of a fast flow of communication, then that shit works. Besides that, though, I'm like, look, I know, I don't want to say I know where it's going, because it doesn't have to always hit, but on these larger time frames, it would not surprise me at all, right? And I'm waiting to kind of see if this plays out, because I swear to God, if we get into another market like this in, let's say in 5 years or 10 years, I will, like, I'm going to remember what we went through this, this past couple of years, and probably into the future for another year or two. But like we could have all made a lot of different moves. So I guess my point, though, is that if this comes down, I could see this 100% wicking below, hitting, maybe 3K. Like 3K would be pretty, it would make sense, right? Like it's kind of the top over here where we were flattening out before those last few months of just like, I don't know, exuberance or whatever it was. I'm pretty sure it had to do with the Fed, but it just wasn't publicized too much. And then boom, obviously COVID. But I guess my thought is, I don't know what would make us go there. And I do understand that argument. People are like, all right, well, what would make us capitulate down, to make that second leg down? And I don't know, right? There may not be a reason. Maybe it's not feasible, but I don't know. I doubt that's the case either, though, right? Like, I'm sure it is feasible. A lot of people think so. It's just the time frame factor. And I think they get caught up in, I like what they were talking about in that space earlier, that the fucking, the Fed or the ECB chair, whatever, I can't think of her name, but
Christine Lagarde.
Yeah, Lagarde, that's it. She was like, yeah, 25 basis points, and then came out and said, oh, we need to do it 50 basis points. I'm not, and again, the Fed doesn't have to do that per se, but this idea that like everybody has it, it's wrapped up in a box, nice and neat with a bow on it. It's going to be 25 basis points. Like, it's just too perfect. Like, people are like, hey man, and everybody's bearish, you got to be bullish. And it's like, yeah, I get the contrarian view. But this is actually more power. It seems more potent and powerful, meaningful to me about how the Fed is reacting, because Jerome Powell came out back in 21, right? I think it was December of 2021. Maybe it was January of 22, but I remember in one of the meetings, he fucking sat there and talked about how they were front running the markets, right? Their speakers would go out and talk bearish, right? Talk really hawkish, fucking that, they were going to be hard hitters, right? And then it was like slow trickle fucking QT is going to start type shit. And yeah, the markets rolled over, but they said if the markets could price it in without them having to do the work, they would do that. That was their mentality back then. That shit has never changed. The fact is they're telling us like they're manipulating, I don't want to say manipulating the markets, but they're more than willing to, if they think it's for the good cause, have like their minions go out and basically, push, not lie, but like, hey, you be a little extra bearish, we need to see if the market's how far the market's going to go. The fact that like they could be doing that again, this time around, I do think, and I wasn't there for that debate, by the way. I heard a little bit about it when I stepped in that first space that like Stock Talk Weekly thought that they don't like, they're not going to have any, they're not going to make decisions based off if, any future predictions that like if the market is going to rally, basically, right? I don't really know. I don't know, man. I think the Fed has a lot hanging on how they handle this, right? And they talked about this in Green Candle space, that the world is watching, right? But in the US dollar is the only game in town. Like it's the BRICS nation shit. Some of that stuff is, it's going on. Like it'll be little pieces, but at the end of the day, like everybody is the United States is, I mean, it's the Federal Reserve. It's their lab, they're dogs. I mean, we're all on leashes. I mean, the countries are you couldn't exist without the US dollar. So, but the only way that would change is if people's belief in the ability of the Fed to fucking handle this shit and keep the liquidity of the markets around the world flowing. That is what could shift into a change. And I mean, yeah, some of the BRIC stuff revolves around that. Others though revolve around logistics and there's actually a couple good documentaries that go back on the BRICS nation stuff, and it's like they're so connected with the fucking they're part of our normal system. So like, yeah, they do their own thing, but then they exchange their money through the whatever the fucking system is there in Europe. That's anyways, it's part of our system. So it's like they're still attached. They're still still have a lifeline attached, and if that got cut off, it would be very bad for those nations. So I guess my thought is that like there's almost like their reputation on the line. And if they think the markets may go up, or if that's, I mean, they don't even have to say, I think it's been going up, right? Since October. I mean, yeah, we had this pullback month, right? But what did it do? All it did is fucking bounce, and it's like, I don't know. I think it wouldn't I wouldn't put it past them at all to have them, come out and be like, yeah, we need 50 basis points. They're going to have to be hawkish at somehow, unless they are okay with the market running up, probably to 4,400 realistically. You know what I mean? The next, I mean, you have a monthly level here. This isn't the same chart that I normally post, right? But even if you got up to this guy, this isn't really even supply. I mean, you're gonna have some levels here like this 4,360, but I mean, you don't get the monthly supply until we're up at 4,600. I mean, this is on SPX spot. There are some other levels on the futures and on the Owanda charts, but it's just like there's no way they're not aware of that, right? I think things would run up. Now we'll see. Anyways, I just wanted to, I guess, point out why more about the fucking charts and the fibs. I mean, the fibs, you can use them a lot of ways, but the fact that I look at this and I'm like, where does 618 put us? Well, it puts us right around 3,200, right? It wouldn't surprise me to see us dip under, and maybe we touch 3K, maybe we don't, right? Maybe we just bounce at 3,200, or we wick a little bit under, and then we hold. And it's like that would make sense to me. So let's move over to hopefully I'm not boring people. I know we haven't looked at a fucking chart yet, but oops.
No, I was going to say that I think one of the things that you were alluding to a few minutes ago is, hey, this gives you the view from 50,000 feet, right? Which is really important. I mean, it's,
yeah,
so I'm with you all the way, man.
Yeah, no, and I definitely think it's worth, I love that that price action can, these supply and demand zones. I mean, when you zoom out, they become more and more clear and you just see them interacting. I mean, and that's, to me, it's like, until that all changes, until I see evidence of that changing, like, why would we not believe it, right? Here, will you say something? I just changed to my ear pods. Let me make sure I can hear you guys.
Say something. I'm giving up on you.
Oh, that's so nice. Sing that song. Perfect. All right. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, this, I mean, y'all probably have seen this. I was going to cut out actually, I just want to get rid of this shit here. Yeah. All right. So, this is the weekly, right? And the monthly. Did I just delete the monthly? Oh, am I a fucking idiot? Oh. I don't know. Did I? Yeah, maybe I did.
Can you Command Z?
No, what it just, yeah, it was right there. I just saw it. Where the fuck did it go? Why am I having such a hard time with that? No, I mean, I just saw the monthly, dude. Am I fucking like Hold on. I swear I saw the monthly. I don't know. What the fuck? Huh. Why would the monthly not be on here? Anyways, all right. I don't fucking know. That's really strange. I swear it just said monthly. Maybe I was seeing one of these. That's crazy, right? Anyways, I can just chart it. Doesn't matter, but why wouldn't I have the monthly on that? It's fucking really strange. Yeah, all right. Well, either way, these gotta go. All right. That's gray. I don't care about that. That's great. All right. So these two are dailies. Yeah, that's fucking weird, man. How do I not have? Really bothers me. Anyways, you got weekly demand down here, right? Let's go to the week. Very straightforward. And this is why, I mean, I trust the weekly a lot as well, right? I mean, look where it comes across back here. I mean, if I was actually doing this with that other chart. Oh, that's right. You know what? I'm not on the right chart. Son of a bitch. Is that one right here? Yeah, sorry guys, just hang with me for a second. Yeah. All right. I put this on Twitter, so it's a little ridiculous, but I forget how I had it. I'm gonna make these go away, but the thing is, damn, there we go. All right. This is our monthly demand, right? At the end of the day, like it's off the body of this candle, right? And I extended the zone to the left because it's interesting to see, but this is the main thing. We finally tested it. I've been waiting for this, right? We've been in this all month, but I talked about it on Twitter, I don't know, back in fucking November. And it's like, we finally tested it. And we spent a month bouncing around. I mean, it's been definitely a busy month, and we just opened. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we just opened the next month. That's why, even though today isn't, today's the 31st, obviously this starts the evening before, kind of like the future. So, this holding is key. It's very crucial. I mean, now we don't have to wait for the next month necessarily to see if the DXY is breaking down and that this doesn't really matter. And again, this is not a bullish signal, right? But it's not a bearish signal either, right? So it's kind of one of those things that it's like, it's more bullish than it is bearish, right? Because we had a chance to break through and close below. Like that would have made way more sense. We come back up, spend half the month, with a little bit of a rally even, only to get the rug swept out. But that just didn't happen. And you can see how much this zone matters, because we came down hard, closed, bounced a little bit, closed, opened here, had a little push and came, and dropped some more. And yet this whole month we spent rallying way the fuck up, right? I mean, I remember when that happened, and then obviously we came down pretty far and we bounced and we've held. So the bottom line is that is, to me, that means a lot, right? Like we're holding this. This is exactly where I expected it to go. I didn't think it would drop off when it did like this, but when you look at the bigger charts, I mean, look at the weekly, there's a lot of spots that it could have bounced, and it did bounce right on the weekly, but you zoom out and it's like, okay, you see this monthly. I mean, it's like, well, fuck it. It's either going to continuously just go up until it hits, 120s, and then pull, but still when it pulls back, where's it going to go? Well, normally it goes to one of these zones. I mean, there's a reason that these are demand zones. And there's areas of interaction. So it's interesting though, when you zoom out, see if I can do this and not lose every fucking detail, but
Does that pull back about 30% or so, 33%, something like that?
yeah, well, that's a good point. Let's I don't know. Let me do this though. Why not put the yeah, I can put that on hide too. Anyways, before, yeah, I'll you see where all the interaction is here, right? Like actually go through that and check that out. It's pretty interesting. I mean, these are what I would have a regular zone here, like my OG zones, I mean, this is on the monthly, so but then again, if you're a long-term trader, if you're wondering, here's the thing, you're wondering what to do with your long-term money, right? I'm a big, proponent of it's like you wait patiently and maybe you don't do it right now. Maybe you find a new spot on the chart that's a little lower and you just kind of wait, set your alerts and fucking wait. And because I can tell you that the chances of us not bouncing off this monthly demand here is just, it's not impossible, right? But there's no way, I just don't see us blowing through it like this month. Maybe in 6 months we chop around, we bounce up a little bit, then we come back down. I don't know. I'm not trying to look out that far, but I just know that realistic. And this is so this is right at 0.5. Let me let's see here.
The fibs don't lie.
No, they don't, but but remember, and how to think about how it's matching up, right? With with the fucking SPX, right? And it's like the dollar is everything. The DXY is everything. I mean, intraday and even like short-term swings, it's you can see deviations, you can see variations, all that stuff. So yeah, space ended, man. I felt bad, but oh well. I never fucking spoke up there, but whatever.
Yeah, I watched the
I s-
Dixie during the day. It's not 100% like you mentioned a couple months back about the inverse, but there
Oh
are
God, yeah,
times
that was like 8 months. Yeah, it was last summer, right? We were
Yeah.
talking about it.
Yeah, but there are times when they absolutely, it's the Dixie's eating it and the mark and SPX is going up and vice versa. But yeah, it's not 100%.
No, yeah, and
I see that from time to time, Alex. And when
Yeah.
I see that, I watch that divergence and I watch it closer. Because normally if they're both going up at the same time and then the Dixie gives away, they'll boost SPX even higher.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, man.
So
Yeah,
I look for those divergences throughout the day because I started watching the Dixie last year when they started doing those 5-day expirations, screwing up the VIX. Because I used to
Yep.
watch the VIX and UVXY.
yeah, no, and it doesn't do the same, it's it doesn't act the same anymore, the VIX, but it's why is it doing that? Oh, sorry guys, I'm fucking doing the wrong thing. Yeah, I
Yeah, they were-
think I'm all, you probably don't know, but yeah, I'm all about watching the DXY. I don't always have it on intraday but somebody always has it on around me. So it's, it gets pointed out and I've been watching it lately because I guess watching this, I've been watching it come down. Like I expect it to come down and hit. But the fact that this is right at the half deviation mark. And so is, where was that? Fuck, where were we on SPX? Was that here? No, shit. Anyways, we'll go back. I'm not going to switch too much to it, but yeah, it's, definitely, we're pulling back, and that's the thing, right? Like, how do we, I don't know. It's, what am I trying to say here? Like I guess we should put the two charts together, at least side by side here.
I sent you my Dixie chart with the levels on there on Discord.
Okay. Yeah. What time frame is that? What is that?
That's those are just look at the levels. Don't worry about where it's at now.
No,
But that red line is the most important line. I think it was, I probably just snapshot at a 3-minute chart.
Yeah, that's so that's the thing, right? You had 101, right?
Yeah, that 101.31 area.
Yeah, so if you turn on that's the next thing, right? The weekly, this is the level that pretty much, and then there is I don't think I have it on this, but there's a daily level that's underneath, and that's pretty much like the daily level. And it is, I have 101 spot, I think it's like spot 297 or some shit, wherever the
Yeah, our levels are normally pretty close. So.
yeah, but dude, and it's just, it makes sense. It is the fucking crux, like if that now if that daily gives out, it doesn't necessarily affect the 101 spot 297. That's the support level, right, of the of whatever this daily fucking this daily demand zone as we do it, right? It's the bottom, and this was just one solid day. I remember this. It looked like it was dropping, and it was like, holy shit. It was like just gonna dive off into nowhere, and it turned around, fucking launched off. Yeah, no, this is kind of what I'm watching. Even on the weekly, look at it on the weekly, it's holding beautifully, right? Like It has not closed, and that's why I've been sticking with this over the last few weeks. You know, we have yet to, we dip under, right, the support level here, but it's like you can't get over, like, we're not getting a close underneath. We're gonna go lower, we're gonna start seeing, you know, weekly, if any, we'll probably see a daily close underneath, you know, that level, you know, that 101.3 basically, and that's the thing. At that point, we can, you know, we can talk about it differently, but I think I always just, I'm like, why don't, like, as much as we can rally in equities, like, that shouldn't matter anyways. Yeah, well, yeah, you got 101, that's the level you're talking about, right? The 101 or 101.3. Neo.
Sorry, I had to find the unmute button. I've got 5 monitors, but yeah, I also sent you a broader range to give you a bigger picture. To show you where we rejected today, that 102.61.
Yeah, the
Doing pre-market, yeah.
I don't know.
We rejected that 102.61, and my next level down was at 102.36. We totally shot that down at the open. We came back and tried to retest that with an overshoot at 924 central, and then it just lost it from there.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'll you can post them in the chat. Maybe people can see them. Yeah,
Okay, I'll put them in futures room.
Yeah, or you can put it wherever. You don't have. You can post outside of the futures room if you want. By the way, I don't know if you.
Well, I don't know. I
had to
figured
only
out
post
since
in there,
it
but-
was labeled as the futures room, I didn't know how many futures traders you actually had.
Yeah, well, we actually have there's, let's see, there's myself, Tommy, SJ, fucking Andrew trades them a little bit, but he hasn't been around as much because he's working a lot more during the day. What else? Who else does it? Phil's going to be doing it, and there's a few other people that are interested. So no, it's good to have the conversation going. I think we'll start talking about it more.
I don't know. Phil's
you
got
know.
me thinking about doing SPX 0 DTEs. I got a buddy today that bought 460s or 465s in another group, and he paid 40 cents for them, and I think he ran them to $20.
Yeah, so I was in the 4065s on, on
Okay.
Zoom, and but I knew I was gonna have to get going because we were gonna have to go to the airport, and we started when we pulled back there. I think you were on there. I was like, it was when we were in them. Yeah, you were. I think you were on the
Yeah,
Zoom.
but when you talk about SPX, I try to drain it out because I'm always watching ES.
No, but I'm just talking about like but ES, whatever, ES pulled back too,
Yeah.
though. But yeah, that's when I said, though, I was like, I'm out, and then I hopped off and I already knew I could have. I mean, I got the alerts, but I was like, I'm not gonna get back in another.
I will say Phil
Another
caught that
thing,
nice.
so.
I think Phil caught that nice algo candle, that 350 algo Eastern time.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
And I
well,
caught the
everything
short at the
fucking-
bell. I caught a 40-point short at the bell. I traded that last hour and caught 40 points down on the NQ.
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, like after the fucking cash close, absolutely, dude. Yeah, I was on the road, but
That's normally a habit.
Absolutely.
If we run into the close, I look for a pullback.
yeah, no, that's the beauty with the futures. Like sometimes it's flat, but I mean, not always, and sometimes it continues. If you're going flat, I've noticed like SPX on days that were bullish, we will get, like it'll go kind of flat into the close, and then you get that last fucking 45 minutes to an hour will push up. You can get a decent push up sometimes. Sometimes it's a drop. I mean, it's and other times it can be flat, but it's like, why not have access to it? Normally I'm not like trying to run out the door, but
Yeah, and I
I
want to
guess-
trade ES like everyone else, but it is so hard to trade ES. The move is so slow compared to the NQ.
Yeah, but I mean, you size up into it. I mean, it depends on what it's doing. I mean, the thing is that NQ obviously it runs like crazy. I mean, it does run like crazy. It's I don't know, whatever. For what it's worth, it's like it's a bit of a beast. I don't know. It's definitely the one to trade, I feel like, once you're good with it. But then again, I do know times that right now everything's so correlated that it's probably the best one to trade, but ES is great to like learn on. The micros are obviously the cheapest. They're $50 margin. So it's a nice way to start. And the fact is you can trade it whenever. I mean, that's why, I was up that night that I was going to go to bed. Right. I remember I was like, we're going to go to bed. Fucking, you went to sleep, or I don't know if you went to sleep, but I know you were like, headed that way, and then I think
12:30,
my
I had to
daughter
go.
woke up. Yeah, dude. And so I got on that space, and just kept trading the drop, dude, because it would slow down and then it would keep moving. It was pretty nice. It worked out, and I got to talk about AI and fucking not getting any sleep for the next day. That was it was a rough day the next day.
This is the second day in a row you've had some. I'll post it in the regular room instead of the futures room. But Apple had another 3 million shares traded after hours. Dark pool, 508 million worth, 3.5 million shares at 144.29. So
Nice.
I'll post it in the main room for you. I'll take a picture of it. I take notes every night after hours.
Yeah. No, for sure. I wanted to. That's not going to do it. I'm going to do it. Wanted to get these to separate again. This is the interesting part, right? So, oh no, I'm an idiot. I'm fucking on the wrong chart. Hey, you know what helps is if you compare, like, you know, the Dixie to the SPX and not just the DXY to the DXY. Fucking definitely helps.
Maybe there's enough of us where we could maybe have a shortish futures space at some point. I'm all funded and ready to go with my TradeAvate account, but
Are you? Oh, I didn't know you were ready to go with it. Yeah.
Is that Phil?
No, that's James. Yeah, so he's another
James,
one.
nice to meet you, James. I'm trying to learn voices.
Oh, good to meet you too, Neil. Thank you. So just, you know, I just haven't really been known. Do I stay up late? Do I get up early? So at some point, you know, not now, but if we could talk about that a little bit, that'd be cool. Next.
Yeah.
I will post. I have the volume hours too. I can post that for you. Or just send me a message on Discord, and I'll just send you a screenshot of these little notes I've had on my desk for 5 years. I got VIX levels, the Asia future levels. My mentor called me yesterday. He just got back from Japan. He's an airline pilot, and he broke down the volume for Asia, EU, and the US Open, because the US futures traders normally start at 6 a.m. Central Time, and then they quit by 9. So I have all the volumes I can send you.
It's like, I mean, it's like trading Forex, you know, you normally get going, I don't know, by 7 o'clock, you know, by 7 a.m. it's like, you want to be on, I don't know, you want to be paying attention to it. So
Sounds good. I'll message you.
But yeah, and the other thing is the way the market's rolling right now, definitely pay attention to that level, or, you know, to those times. The biggest thing, man, is I think in the beginning, like, just to get comfortable with it, is just trading, you know, whenever, like when you can be in a group, right? Obviously I think that's one of the best times, because you can at least talk about levels, and you know, we can talk more specifically about, like, whatever, like how I'm setting up an order, you know. And I know most of you guys trade off of not most of you, I know you, Neil, like I'll trade off the Dom sometimes, but I also will set orders, you know, where you just set a limit and fucking it's out there with a bracket around it a lot of times, and and I'll let it just come down and fill, especially because of the way the zones work. Like once you get a signal, I just kind of set it and then let it fill if it's going to or not. And
I need to learn market profile, or what do you call it? Profile. What's it called? Volume profile. Because my mentor told me if I take these dark pool levels and look at the volume profile of that, I can find out if they're a buy or sell. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. So I need to learn.
No, I can show it to you right now here in a minute. Let me finish with this, I guess. Or
go ahead.
Finish, and then we'll I can turn this chart off anyways. But yeah, this is the correlation. I don't know if this is where it's a little strange. This is where shit got weird. And this is why people's funds, like their hedging strategies, went to shit, right? Is what's his name? Gade, Michael Gade, isn't that his name? Or
Gayad or whatever.
Yeah, Michael Gayad.
Yeah. Okay. He you know, his hedging got fucking destroyed. He got wrecked because this year when it pulled, you know, the thought was that if the market dumped, you know, treasuries would go up or whatever, right? Isn't that treasuries or whatever? And it's connected with the DXY, obviously, but the fact that the correlation like split, it didn't play out, you know. And he's been all over the place, don't get me wrong. Did you guys see that shit? I mean, I don't know him well at all, but there's, you know, he charges people, like all his speakers to be a co-host of a space costs like $3 or $5 grand.
What?
Yeah, no,
that's what?
Yeah. No, and I've heard that from a couple of people now, and it's fucking hilarious. So I forget who shared me. I don't know who shared it with me originally. It doesn't matter, but yeah. Anyways, you know, and it's on Twitter, anyways. So yeah, no, and it's like text messages are a motherfucker, because it's kind of like there's no denying it, or I don't know, you know what I mean? Like it's people that just know, like that are on the space, and some people pay it, he's got a lot of viewers. You definitely get a big group, and I bet, a lot of these people run funds and have their own services. So, it's a marketing thing. Anyways, I know he got fucked up on it, and he's talked about that a little bit personally. So, the correlation split, I think we're in new territory, but at the end of the day, right? I think we're either going to have, this will be the 0.5 retracement, and that's it, right? And again, this one doesn't need to come down to the 618. It might eventually, right? But it doesn't need to in order for like SPX to do it, right? I think commodities would have to dump, and that's the only thing that's really concerning. So I'm like, I don't really know how we would get that next leg down. I don't know if like just interest rates could do it, although we've seen some huge moves. So it's beyond me. That's why I do try to pay attention to some of the spaces. But anyways, yeah, if we drop from here, I mean, there's a couple levels here, but I really think that the dollar will go back to $90, right? If we really roll, let's say it does start to really lose its ass and we shoot off to all-time highs, because that's the theory. We're either going to all-time highs or we're going to fucking, we're going to the floor. So nothing in between, which is probably where we'll be, probably chop for the next 6 months or something. But which doesn't matter to us, honestly. It does suck for people that want to put their long term to work. Although looking back, I'm like, I see like where these sectors performed really well. But I gotta be honest, I still don't have any real interest in putting my money in anything yet. I also have some other thing. I have other ideas going on in the background as far as like property and like, so it's not like I don't know, like at the end of the day, like I get why people still do, but I'm like, I'm just not really there yet. And if we do bounce, like if we're going to take off on SPX, this is our, everything's done. We're all, we're going to all-time highs, the market's going up, or at least like this is the bottom is in, like there's going to be plenty of opportunities. So I think there'd be plenty of pullbacks. There won't be any real concern. Anyways, yeah. What were we just talking about there that I said I wanted to finish about the DXY? Well, I guess, James, do you have anything else to add to the DXY? I had that up because I know what we were talking about, but if it
No, I was going to ask you if you would like me to call it out, because I have it up all the time, and if I see it pumping or dumping, do you want me to mention it, or
feel mention it or post in the chat and just tag, I mean, yeah, definitely you can mention it. Most of the time I have I have it set up so I can hear you guys. If we're on Twitter, that's where it gets a little tricky, but that will be solved soon. I haven't had time to set up the software completely yet, but I have it, and it's just a matter of probably having a Saturday to fuck around with OBS and what is the other one? StreamYard and all that. Or not StreamYard, but a couple pieces of software that allow me to actually like integrate everything. But yeah, anyways, yeah, definitely call it out. Like post it, call it out. Don't feel like you're interrupting, dude. If you just have to. I don't know how big of a move do you look for on the DXY normally?
I'd have to pull it up on my desktop, but just if I see just a bunch of very tall candles either way, honestly, just where it's just a pretty obvious
like this, yeah, like this here, where this came up and fucking tested this, what was this, 10 o'clock or 10:30, right? Yeah, 10:25.
Yeah.
I mean, that and then drop off, like that's a you'll see that.
That's one I just noticed. Yeah, I mean, when I see something like that, it's like, oh, okay. So yeah, just something that appears dramatic, I would say. Yeah.
I know, where is,
yeah,
you see a
something
line
beyond
here?
just sideways for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. Isn't that weird? These lines just disappeared, right? These two,
Oh,
right?
I wasn't.
Yeah, I
well,
noticed it.
right on the fucking daily, they're gone.
I'm trying to manage this short and watch you do that at the same time.
Is that, I know, is it because like, is it not turned on to the right? I don't understand what the fuck's going on. No, it's, I'm gonna say, it doesn't give you that option. It's a horizontal array. That's it.
Trading view is glitchy. I've often wondered if I maybe want to move over to TC 2000.
I tried trading view. I don't know how you guys do it. I mean, I only know TOS, so that's probably my problem. But I've tried
Yeah, I
trading
mean,
view, TrendSpider, and I just can't do it.
Well, I mean, so I charted on TOS. Fucking, that's where I started. That's, you know, I definitely know it, and I once you know the shortcuts, it's good. But this is definitely just I don't know, man. There's so many. It's so much more intuitive, and it just took time. You know, is really what it was. But I mean, I still trade over on. I actually like it because I have. It's like, I guess it's like having two separate computers to run. Like one runs video and one runs. You know, like when people have like two separate systems, and I guess you know, these aren't two separate systems, but it's like I have a program here that's just running my charts, and I do trade the futures on it. Although I don't mind, I think I'm gonna fuck around and try what you were talking about, where you just have the DOM, right, which is the depth of market, the price ladder. For anybody
Yeah,
that
I
doesn't
keep that on
know.
a separate
And-
monitor and just trade
right.
it off my
You
macro
just
monitor.
right, you just take that out, but then you watch the charts on
Yep.
Thinkorswim, and you just watch the yeah, and that's 100%. Like, there's no, like, you could do that. I mean, I'd probably do it with TradingView, but just because that's where the majority of my
You have
I mean, that's just where I'm
IBKR. You should be able
comfortable.
to hook Tradeovate up with IBKR too.
Oh,
I don't know how
can't-
their
dude, I
charting
can't,
system
I
is,
can't stand IBKR, bro. I'm about to be done with that completely. Dude, I can't stand it. I fucking lost some
I
money today
transfer
because I'm like
70% of my
jumping shit
profits to
around.
IBKR though, just to
Yeah,
sit
well,
there.
that's that's because you're using the money market part of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I get why people have it. They have a great breakdown of performance. I mean, that's the one thing with TD, man. Try to figure out like your performance. Like, all you can download the raw data, which is literally every fucking day, the balance
Yeah,
every day.
don't do Tradeovate because their algo. Okay, say if I'm legging into a trade, like a short, and I average down on that trade, even though the trade might be green, if I exit out of that trade and say 2 or 3 of those contracts out of the
Yeah.
multiple I sold for a loss, technically, it would
Uh-huh.
count that in as a loss in your performance, even though the entire trade was green.
Yeah, right. Which is, that's just, it's
It's
so
BS.
dumb. Yeah, right. No, and that's shit that, dude. I mean, so I don't know IBKR, and I've looked for this solution, and granted, I'm new, so people that use it are probably could be like, oh, you got to do this. Although I don't know, I've asked a couple people, but when I click on a new, like, I'll change the option contract, it like changes the book trader, right, which is like their active trader wannabe setup, and it like reverts it to like, instead of a column, like order column, it's like they call it something else. So I literally have to go into settings and like click it to go back to like the normal like order book style, and it's a little shit like that, bro. I'm like, dude, you realize how like it makes me so slow, and like, I don't know, like, compared to active trader, man, I can move seamlessly through the options, you know, the options chain. Just whether I'm putting it to a watch list or if I'm just copying and pasting it, really doesn't matter. And I just have everything on quick fire, and it's like, it's just, I don't know, it's just I move so much faster, dude. I got on it, I've tried it on Interactive Brokers, and I just I've struggled and struggled and struggled. So anyways, it's just really interesting. Are we still, I wonder if it's because it's still in the same day that these lines are showing up, but they're fucking horizontal rays, so there's absolutely no reason that oh wait, is that why? I'm an idiot, that's why. Oh, fucking retarded. All right, never mind, I was way in the wrong spot. Anyways, I was, what was it getting at? I guess just the daily part, that's what I wanted to look at. We are stuck inside. This is the only thing I don't like about the DXY for going into the rest of the week, and of course this will change tomorrow, I think, with them. But you know, this is a supply zone here, as far as just, you know, where we can get turnaround, right? So a bit of you know, we know there's going to be sellers here, right? And we did test inside of it. We tried to push higher and we closed below, and then you can see today we've already kind of come up and retested the zone. It wouldn't surprise me to see more of a run tomorrow and see the DXY kind of come down again. You know, I don't think it's going to like break down and fall out, but I think during the day we could definitely see some downward moves. Maybe I'll be wrong, I don't know, but I felt like it was popping today, actually, during the day when the market popped too. Did you guys notice that? Or is that just me? I may have, I swear, I don't remember exactly what time.
They
but it
do
would've-
that from time to time just
Oh, yeah,
to
yeah.
adjust the price of the DXY itself.
Well, yeah, this was like, and we've seen it, man, where the DXY ran. I mean, this is why when I first started doing spaces, it was working very well, correlating really well, to the point that like people were coming up and, I mean, I don't know, gained a lot of followers because people were like, the correlation's great, but the thing is, it stopped, like it slowed down and started to stretch, which I talked about. Even, you know, like I remember this is when I first met the guy used to be my partner, but he fucking, anyways, like I remember talking about it and like people loved it and it slowed down and stopped. So that's to me is a little bit different than like seeing a pop, right? Where the DXY rolls up and fucking this does too, though. So I don't know, maybe, you know, and again, maybe I noticed it after the fact. There was
did just
definitely
pull
some
up the-
pretty crazy price movement.
I
Yeah, go
did
ahead.
just pull up the daily on DXY. And one of the things I like to use on a daily is that 100 channel regression trend lines.
Yeah, sure,
What do you call? And the bottom of that trend line on the daily is 101.58.
The
Normally, anytime we touch
yeah.
that lower regression trend line, we bounce.
Yeah, and that would put us right there where that daily support is. So I mean, it's not you know, I mean, that's the demand at 106, but that 101.3. So you're saying 101 spots, what'd you say?
So let me see. Let me stretch it out. 101.58
Yeah, so
is
that's
your lower
literally
regression trend line.
right. So that puts us right by the actual demand level. So just inside of it, but that's so that, and you know, and that's the thing, like that this is just the body of that daily that daily candle, but it is demand. I mean, you can see it time and time again, fucking pegging it and working, you know.
And
We've
they like to
tested
use the
that
overnight hours to manipulate the price of DXY as well.
Yeah, well, right, for the currency markets, it's that's the thing, like Forex, right? Like the markets, the equity markets that we play in, you think like they're manipulated or that they're like guided and shit. It's like this is literally where they like train, it's like the kiddie pool, and then they send everybody over to Forex, right? Where they're trading, you know, you have literal banks just like, I mean, doing some grimy shit, man. Like, you know, trying to get other banks to get involved. I mean, it's all huge money flowing, and that's like the Shark Tank. It's always been described to me, but anyways, yeah, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 days, really 5. You could even say 6 here, but five times we've tested this, right? So pretty much tested this level, and I guess you can count that too. But anyways, in recent history. So
Today,
yeah, go ahead.
Today was the 7th day that we stayed above the 200 on ES. That's the longest in a long time.
The 200 day, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely, man. And look, you look at SPY. I was looking at this. I think it's this one. Yeah, right. Forward chart. Yeah. All right. So let's pull it up here. Anyways. Yeah, if you look at SPY, right? I don't know if I have the 200 on here yet, but you look at even this trend line. Wow, that's on the monthly. That's not what I wanted. Hold on. You know, the fact that we've held, and I mean, a few times here, and we know the 200 is floating here as well. The yeah, it's just really, I don't know. Oops, that's not what I want. That's what I want. The I don't know. It is, that's the thing, right? Like, but I think FOMC, and maybe it'll take the rest of this week with earnings, but I think that's it's very like it's we're at this point, and I am kind of excited. I don't care if we go up or down. I want to see us go down so I can make more money in the short term, but at the same time, if we start rocking up, it's going to be great. Like I don't know, like I'm open to it. I'm kind of excited to like have, I'm okay being a bull, you know, like I'll run, you know, I'll run it to the north as much as possible. Yeah, this is what I was looking at before. And I mean, there's no reason we can't pop above it a little bit. And I know you were looking at it on ES, you said, is that right?
yeah.
Yeah, because ES, honestly, I like that chart the most with all of this, but we can look at that next. But this, you know, I see this and I'm like, look, this was, you know, this, I mean, trend line and the 200, like we have based pretty well here. The only thing I'll say is that we do have these weekly levels, and they're just it's just not this is the weekly levels here, right? So you got, this is the supply, this is the main supply. We get up here, it's, you know, on SPY, what is that, 415.25. that's where I really, I mean, I will, if we get through this, that's where I could see like the next six to 12 months, like maybe heading up and chopping around a little bit. This is a pretty big area. I mean, it's only a weekly level, but again, this is pretty key. And we're actually, kind of inside of one still here. That this level up, this whatever 406.91. So for whatever it's worth, I guess, let's look at ES because then we can go to that. Yeah, and you're on the so you're on the current. Right, that's what because ES on how do you view when you're trading on TradingView? Don't you still use the micro, but you just they're not on TradingView on TOS, right? Well, have you ever traded futures on TOS?
No, I haven't placed a single. I have like some penny stocks on TOS, but that's so they don't close my account out because I've never placed a trade other than I bought like 10 penny stocks a year ago because they kept closing my account out every year, even with cash in it saying it was inactive. And then one of the trade desk people told me just buy a few penny stocks and they can't close me out.
Yeah, just keep some shares there and they'll keep you forever. Yeah, no, it's fucking because
I told them I was like, you guys can't match what I make on Trade of 8, or you can't match, Trade Tasty Works as far as the UI,
Oh yeah, see, I know people love Trace. Man, I wish Matt was here. He's not really even active in the chat, but but dude, he loved Tasty Works. He was doing spreads on them. He loved the interaction.
They're all preset. Whatever you want to do, you just do a preset, move your strikes, click, boom, you're done.
Yeah, no, I don't blame it. It's
they even have something in there called a jaded lizard. But dude, it was designed by Tom Snowsnall.
Right. Yeah.
So
and that's why what was I saying there? Don Kaufman, right? I was talking about the options course, right? That ended up just being a version of Don Kaufman's. He was with Thinkorswim in the beginning as well. He was one of like the first team or whatever, from what I understand, but obviously works for Snozenoff, and who I don't know who the other guy was. Wasn't there another? There's another part. I mean, there's obviously partners, but I thought there was one other guy that was pretty well known. That or did he go on another floor trader that was well known went off and created something else? Maybe that's what it was. Another platform, but anyways, this I was gonna look and see, right? Where's the 50-day to be crossed, I think, right? Maybe we're crossing now.
I never knew what a golden cross was until you guys started talking about it.
Well, and what's funny is it hasn't actually happened yet. Well, I guess technically it did cross, depending on where. But this weekly candle here will. I mean, this is not. This is the daily. It's pinned to the daily. So it doesn't matter what chart I'm on, but yeah, when this candle closes, I don't think maybe we got the close on that. I think it's going to be determined by this one, and obviously I don't know, this in the short term could be I've seen these go both ways, and actually when they run the statistics on them, like if you look it up on like Investopedia, they talk about how like statistically when they back test it or go back and get previous data, it doesn't actually, there's no real signal from it, right? What it does indicate though is that these shorter term averages are coming back up, to get above the long term averages, which is signs of a bull market, right? It's signs of a it's signs of a rising up into the right type of chart. So for what it's worth for anybody, and that's the thing, right? Here's the thing, guys. When the 50 crossed here, right? I remember I was already paying attention at that point, right? Because we had these fucking big moves down. This is coming into what, April, right? When we crossed, or March, yeah. So this was after, Facebook and I think Netflix, right, dumped somewhere in here. But this was a good indication of it. And it looked kind of curled back up. And obviously this was the big fall. This was one of the big ones, here. So that was what, April. Boom, 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 boom.
It still hasn't crossed on the NQ. I just looked at it.
Yeah,
on the daily.
Yeah. Yeah, what's going on here? Yeah, I guess we were here. Yeah, no, not surprising. The NQ, the one that I like watching is I think I'm gonna have to do it here, but the weekly, what is it? It's the 200 week, I believe. Yeah. So that's the thing, that's weekly demand that we tagged off of beautifully. And so that's kind of the level to watch that I have. But yeah, when we broke it, let's see. Am I gonna be able to remember? I don't know if I'm gonna remember it. Anyways, I'll come back to it if I can think of it. But oh yeah, no, the 200. Sorry, and if anybody listening wants to like look at something specific, fucking just feel free to speak up. You're not gonna interrupt us. There's a moving average, I believe. I think it's I want to say it's a 200 week, and it had not broken it for we broke it this cycle, but even during COVID we didn't do it. So it was really interesting. I'll show it to you. I'm pretty sure this is it. Yeah, we can leave that purple. All right, so let's go to the weekly and see where this goes. Yeah, this is it. So you can see like it literally back here in right in 2010, right? So after we came off the bottom, and that's something people don't realize. Like when you talk about stocks, like I just want to hold, right? Look at this shit. This is going into the .com bubble. Now, obviously, rotation changes. This is a lot of time, but I mean, look where the highs were on this. This is fucking crazy. I mean, you're talking from what was that? Yeah, March 2000, right? All the way. All the way over. Damn it. Basically to here, right? When we broke out here, all the way to 2016. So you're talking 16 years of market top to top. Okay. I mean, that's not individual stocks per se, but there's a reason why the stocks that did super well leading up into the .com bubble have never recovered. Like they may still be around, some of them, a lot of them go away, some don't though. And it's like, they at the end of the day, they don't like if you were holding them, you're fucked. Like you basically took an L, took a luck and coffee type of trade. I see that what you sent me now, the DXY. So yeah, I'll check. Did you post those in the chat? You said.
Yeah, I posted the first one in the chat. I think I'll double check. But
Okay.
also remember the moves we're getting on ES and NQ before COVID, it would take a month to get 50 points on the ES.
Oh yeah, of course. No, yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like people are like, oh, this market, I get it from an investor standpoint. This is a gift though. That's why you want to learn. The biggest thing is risk management. Most people just take too much of a trade. Like I was talking about it on the space. Yeah, the one with Stock Talk Weekly and fucking and FI or whatever. And that I spoke up just briefly because I'm like, you're talking about like, is it the anxiety of the trade? And I'm like, look, if you're anxious, I mean, it's one thing to be like into the adrenaline, right? Or just be into like the fact that like, hey, we have some volatility. But if you're getting into a trade you're so worried about tagging out because it's going to fuck your account up money wise, it's like you really should size down, right? Or you should save up more money and grow the account, or just wait for less volatile days, right? But it is a really good indication. I'm not trying to like harp or hit on anybody because like it's a shitty, it's one of those things you just figure out. But it truly is like to be, to last in a long period of time, you have to be kind of detached from the trade. So, yeah, and you got to be able to take hits. But if your account's only like, $1,000 or $2,000 and you take a $500 or $600, $500 hit, that's like, you can only take 4 of those on a $2,000 account. So anyways, like you want to manage it appropriately, but most people don't, I don't think even more, seasoned investors, they don't think about it like that, So, and then listen, like you said, why would you, right? Why, or not you, but like, why would they, like, you didn't see moves like you see now. Maybe 2020 to 22 was an indication that maybe we should have, but how high is the NASDAQ off its highs? Let's see. Oops. Fuck. Hold on. I think it's like 37 or something like that. Yep, 37.5, right? To the lows, to the October lows. So that's a pretty big pullback, right? Although I do hear people say that we need 50%. Which maybe that's crazy. I don't know, but 50% would be, yeah, right about here, it's basically.
And where's 50 on the Fibonacci?
Sorry, I'm just fucking zoning looking. Well, from where? That's the thing, from
Yeah.
COVID lows.
Well, they're talking about 50% retracement from the top, right?
I'm talking about a 50% drop is what, so that's the thing we hit the 618 here on the NASDAQ. That's why I was pretty confident that we had a bounce here, although I thought we were going to keep going through it because we had already broken this 200 day, which at the time, right, had not been broken. I mean, I remember talking about it at least in the spaces, but I mean, talk about a perfect bounce here. Fuck, man. It's probably why people like Ackman, whatever his first name is there, the fun guy who went on crying, saying everything was going to be, the world was over on like CNBC, and while his firm was buying up everything that they could. And basically it was the low. He bought him
Or
tick
Bitcoin. Remember when they were all shitting on Bitcoin, but they were buying it secretly?
Well, yeah, sounds like my old mentor, dude. Fucking no, I don't think he was buying it secretly, but he was talking shit about it while it continued to roll up, and everybody sat there and was like, I don't know, like it seems a little special. It's trash. I was there when it fucking crashed back, hit 20K. I'm like, and that's what you're hearing now too. And I mean, maybe it goes to zero sometime, but I fucking doubt it. Like, I think it'll explode into the next halving, but that's not for another year and a half.
If
So.
Tasty would let me have my own wallet, I would purchase it because you can buy it at Tasty, I think, for 1%. That's it. It's the cheapest. But since you can't have your own wallet, I don't even touch it.
Yeah, but you can transfer it though, right?
Nope. It just, I don't, it's a weird,
a
weird way.
Okay.
Even Robinhood does the same thing. It's like, you don't even know if it's yours.
So you can't transfer yours out of
Robinhood's 100%. You can transfer anywhere you want.
Okay.
Oh, Robinhood, you can now? Okay. At first you couldn't years ago, back in like 18.
That's true. Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah. Yeah.
And they used to only start trading. They used to start their pre-market trading at fucking 8 p.m. Eastern or 8 a.m. Eastern. They did bump that back, I believe. Before I still have an account with them too. I have a little bit of I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I have anything in it now. I used to use the card.
I think I have like $1,000 in it, and I haven't opened it up in like 3 years.
Yeah. I don't have any. I know people love it and it works, but after watching what happened with when they froze the account, when they froze access, and people couldn't get out of their positions, and super sketchy shit anyways that went on with that. And they were confronted by it, and they basically said, too bad, I mean, like, we're sorry, but it is what it is type of shit. So
yeah, I'm like you guys. I got most of my funds are out of there and over at TOS or whatever now.
Yeah, if you can't call your broker and break a trade or get out of a trade, you don't have a broker.
Right. Oh no, dude, they don't even, well, at the time they didn't even have they had email worst customer service. Yeah, they do have access to the people now, and it's in the United States. It definitely sounds like it's not like buried somewhere in the middle of East Asia or something. But
I was pleasantly surprised by their customer support, because I had a phone break on me, so my 2-factor authentication was gone.
Okay,
and you know what, they helped me out faster than anybody else talked to a live person. So I have to give them kudos for their customer service is actually quite good now.
That's what scares me about that 2-way factor. I don't have it enabled, but I have a MacBook, so I know I'm pretty safe as far as someone trying to hack my stuff.
Yeah, I have 2-factor on with but I use the authenticator app. I don't know. Yeah, and a lot of it's just because it's I use LastPass, right? And now they've been hacked, like, but they've hacked enough times where I'm probably moving. I forget which one. There's two other services that are really good, that are on the same level, and I got to move to one of them. But it's not it's a task, it's a fucking, like, you got to go in. You can export data, but to clear it out, to really clean it. And I got to change all the passwords. I mean, it's going to be super frustrating. Granted, my password to get into LastPass is, I tried, you can like tell like what characters you have, right? How many letters, how many special characters, how many numbers, how many capitals, and it gives you an idea of how much a brute force, just a brute force would take. And mine's like something like, I don't know, like 230 years or some shit. Or no, I'm sorry. No, it was 18 years. It was 18 years and change or whatever it would take to hypothetically to brute force my password. And I'm like, well, that's cool, because I didn't think, don't think much of it. But I think 1Pass is what it is. But yeah, LastPass has been hacked enough times that I'm just done with it. So anyways, this is something to pay attention to though, guys. Like this is a case, for, from looking at the charts, seeing like, okay, we did come down, we hit the same consolidation zone. The only thing the only reason I don't like this being the bottom, I guess it makes sense if ES is only going down to the 0.5, but it's just that how stretched, right? How bloated the, tech was compared to the SPX, or the S&P. All through 2020. I mean, like obviously both of them ran like crazy, but the returns were just insane, right? I mean, obviously NASDAQ was a monster, and man, do I wish I traded more futures. I knew it was up. Yeah, it went up fucking 100 and basically 152 or 153% from COVID bottom to all-time highs. So fucking insane. And a period of what? Like, I mean, it only did it in, when was that? It was December 21st. I mean, it's crazy. Anyways. Yeah, so what should we look at, guys? Anything you guys want to look at? Anything else? I know we've kind of just talked macro and kept it going. Do you guys want to, anybody that's listening, you guys want to check something out, just let me know. Like, I'm happy to look at zones. We can look into the futures. We can
Let's
talk
look
a little bit.
Valet, VALE. I
Yeah.
got out of it.
Oh, Vail. Yeah, or Valet.
Yeah,
or whatever.
I call it Vail too, but everybody on Twitter calls it Valet.
They're smoking something. No, I don't know.
I got out of it right when I got sick because it hit my target.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's worth me getting back in. Not now, wait for it to drop and get back in, or just forget about it. But I made like 25% off of it.
Oh, yeah, no. It's a trading. I mean, this is definitely something. I don't know if Joe and Digi have talked about for sure. Probably Ian on the spaces, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I wouldn't get back in it here. This is a trend line here. Like where you're
I
heads.
got out right at the trend line. It was, it did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, no, for sure. The one thing I remember, I think, didn't we talk about this? Maybe not.
We've talked about it a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, I swear. Yeah. So this is what, I wanted to show the past price action. The thing is, right, like this is, I don't know, like it may break out here, right? Like that. And that's something I think I would then consider, but I think I'd want to see like this is a weekly chart, obviously. Even on a daily, like I want to see like a week worth of price above, and like seeing other things come around and change. So this is what are they?
It's a mining company out of Brazil, I believe.
Okay, that is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, okay, here we go. So yeah, right, it is. That's right, it is. Yeah. Minerals and does it say steel? Yeah, non-energy minerals and steel. So
yeah,
pretty big company. But
I got in at 15. So I made really, really good money on it.
Yeah. Yeah, with fucking commons, right? Just grabbed and just
yeah,
held,
with
right?
commons.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just don't know if it's gonna if I should forget about it, or if I should wait until it drops back down to 15 again, or
well, I think I would see what the market's doing, number one, because I mean,
I got out of my shares right now that I had.
Yeah, no, I think you're smart on that. But I mean, look, here's October, right? This is when the market made a new low. And the indices made a new low. Obviously, the individual tickers didn't follow exactly. But the thing, I guess my point is that like we see the downside when the market's down, headed down. Now, I don't know, I mean, it's not correlated perfectly, but you kind of get an idea, right? Like my thought is that if, I wouldn't buy here unless we broke out and you were confident that like we weren't going to catch some surprise, right? Which I think after tomorrow and the end of this week with earnings, I don't really know what it would be, right? I'm sure there's something else that would come out eventually, but nothing that we are talking about now. At least that I see, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, so I guess my point is, it's like either we're going to keep going up, and the market's going to rip up, or we're going to have something happen over the next, 5 days or whatever, 5 trading sessions that, by the beginning of next week, Monday or Tuesday, we should know like what we're doing, right? So it's kind of what I'm thinking. And then that'll tell us with stocks like this. I mean, I know it's not the only thing that drives it, but again, this looks a lot like, right? Like this looks exactly like, what we were, what the rest of them look like,
Right.
So, I mean, Vale's supposed to be good though, but I mean, I definitely like it if it gets back down, right? One more big swoop, even if the market tanks and goes down, like this doesn't have to, but it would be nice to see it touch for what it's worth. And again, this line is not mine. It's off of this gentleman up here, right? Peak of the mountain. It's the peak of the mountain comes right over. I mean, I call it a mountain, but you know what I'm saying? It's like we want to get the retest anyway. So that's what I wouldn't surprise me if this came down. I don't know. You're not going to come down to $4. So
I don't see it coming down to 4. I do definitely
no,
see it
but
coming down to 15.
you could,
again.
yeah, well, yeah, for sure. You could get something. Oh, hold on. I think you know what, this is what I was doing. I think I was doing this because this is a pretty wide spread now, a pretty big time frame. Yeah, and it was matching up with, hold on, let me see if this, yeah, this is what I was kind of looking at right there. So like it kind of, I mean, I don't know, take it, put it where you want, but like the fact that it kind of matched what we saw here, I was thinking, all right, maybe if it comes back down, then that, like you say, 15, you're going to have to get through these moving averages, but they don't hold it though, so that's one thing I would say. Like you get down to 200, let's say we do drop again, like maybe it's going to bounce here, it might go to 1350. I don't know. I could see that being more, I don't think it's going to come down, you'd have to go to negative to come down and retest this exactly, but this wasn't a great retest here, I guess is my point. So,
Right.
but all right, yeah, anyways, but it is nice. There's a couple that, I mean, I don't know how many people in here, and of course I don't know how many people are on the call. I guess just the same. Yeah, we got like 6 or 7 people. So the thing is, like, if you guys have these trades, though, feel free to put them in that trade ideas. It'll hope. I know there are other people in this group that do trade. They trade a lot more just regular equities. So anyways, that is something, feel free to always post that. At some point in the game, I'll start trading more of them again, maybe by that point we'll have an algo that'll just trade the index and the futures. And that'll just do the work in the background. We'll just anybody that's in the group, from the beginning, we'll just, if the algo works out the way that we think it's going to, we'll maybe be able to do some sort of like a group thing or whatever, I mean, once it's like proven and back tested, but because I think that like that is one thing. So the algo is going to be like, there's going to be 2 algos. There's going to be like the indicator one that's like kind of dumbed down, or it's not dumbed down, but it's not going to be as intense. Because if the algo is trading on its own, like literally, set up to buy and sell, it's like that. Like, I don't mind if that's in and out of trades, every 3 minutes. Well, it wouldn't be 3 minutes, but it's be based on the 5-minute candles, in zones. It's like that. It could do its thing all day, every day. Right. But so there's going to be, that is what the main focus is. And then obviously an indicator as well that people could be, could be interested in, and it should give you signals as far as at least based on what the zones are doing. So, but it's in the works. It's just it's taken. It's more tricky than we thought, but we're actually utilizing the GPT to answer some of the questions in code, like how to get the logic behind it. But that's what I've been told. At least I'm not working on it personally. I'm not that type of guy. All right, so what else anything else you want to look at? Going once, going twice, I'm gonna
You
fall
wanna
asleep
check
in my
out
chair.
Me.
You
No,
wanna
go
check
ahead. What?
MP,
Say it again, say it louder.
MP, you wanna check out?
MP, yeah,
MP.
materials, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
been mentioned a few times in spaces and the thesis the guy had
I've
tonight
traded this.
actually
Yeah,
pretty interesting. So I kind of wanted to dive into the company a little bit more, like we were talking before about fundamentals and whatever. But anyway, so I don't know if you heard the guy who was talking about how they get approval in California, then they could really do very, very well. And that he thought that they would get approval in 2023. So there's a little more to it than that. I just don't remember everything the guy said, but
was it Joe? Who was talking about MP?
there were a few new people in that space, or at least new to me. And
Which space was it again? Sorry.
it was Tony's, I think was Stock Talk Weekly
Oh, you mean tonight?
tonight. Sorry, yeah.
Oh,
tonight.
yeah. That was, I think that was 5 space, but it was but Stock Talk Weekly was there and Tony was co-hosting too, I think.
Yeah, and I heard some guys talking about this like a month or so ago, and they were experienced, metals mining traders, whatever, and they were really going pretty deep dive into this company. And anyway, so
Yep.
just
No, I think that's there could definitely be a catalyst here. It's interesting. I mean, they beat earnings. Oh, they always beat earnings because I think there's definitely a they're higher cash flow, maybe, I don't know. Forget what it was. And I don't want to misquote it, but anyways, but it doesn't matter, right? We're coming up on earnings. It'll be interesting to see. As far as the chart goes, this is what I've had these levels in here since before it would have been before this candle, right? So what is that? That's December 19th. So anyways, I guess that happened. Yeah, that's the 19th. Anyway, so this was the weekly demand, right? We closed below it for what it's worth, and we did jump up and move obviously to the north again. I'm just trying to see, did this fill that gap? Oops, just bear with me for a second. What is that? 2306. So no, it didn't technically. So the low on that is 2318. So I don't, and again, it's a gap. Fucking take it for this is pretty much looks filled to me. It's pretty damn close, but it is hard to say whether or not that's if that's something to pay attention to or not. I don't like how we got a weekly close below the demand, but then obviously it did bounce back up. We've had massive moves up. Decent for this ticker. I mean, it went from fucking 24 to
it looks like some buy the rumors, sell the news.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you're in a downward trend, like a downward channel, right? So I think I would look at it that way. That you have the channel, and if it got down maybe to the bottom of it, you could see how this looks here.
Yeah, it's higher, lower lows, lower highs.
Something like that. I don't really like that, but
yeah, that's a channel. Yeah,
definitely a channel. Yeah, and if you extended this back, it'd kind of be where this touched. I don't know. Is that gonna fuck it up? Yeah, well. Oops, I swear I didn't do that. Anyways, yeah, you get what I'm saying though. It's yeah, so you're at the top of that channel now, and it's like, so see what happens. You also got the 200-day right here. I mean, if a break above, watch that volume come in. That's the other thing that I don't see on this, right? We're on the daily chart. You see how we get these spikes in volume right here. Normally we want to see that. Now you may, and again, that goes back to like the market leaders, something that it's like Trader Line uses, and I think what is it, business insiders or whatever. Yeah, IBB, I don't know.
Oh, the publication, Business
Yeah.
Insider?
Yeah, but no, they have but it's like a group. I don't know if it's Business Insider. It's I don't know. I'm just at my brain's shutting down anyways.
It's getting
Gotta go
late.
to bed.
It's
Yeah,
getting
I
late.
need to go to sleep, but I mean, I don't mind looking at this. I just can't think about I can't think of the word I'm thinking of. I
Well, we'll
would
keep
wait,
it on our radar.
yeah, I mean, this is something that I would definitely watch, I'd watch the channel. I mean, if it doesn't break out, the thing to keep in mind is this could come down and touch like this halfway mark, get back down into somewhere in this this weekly. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like now, I'll tell you one thing though, like now what you have for your weekly demand that you'd want to worry about, besides just like a retest of that upper zone, really is like down here, so you could get a pull, push down, and at that point, I don't know, we'll have to see. You have to see what happens with it, but it doesn't
Maybe
look bad,
fishing
man.
orders, maybe some fishing orders at $20.
I was gonna set an alert here. Yeah, no shit. Well, I wonder, are there options? I think there are options on this, right? Because you could sell the cash covered, or you could sell the the cash covered puts, wherever you wanted to buy.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So,
Okay, well,
yeah, he just cut out there? Did you cut out? Did you mean to mute?
oh, yeah, I'll just keep my
Okay.
eyes on it and kind of see what happens. I just, especially the news, I think keeping up on the news with this thing about California and licensing, et cetera, whatever that's all about, is probably going to be the major catalyst for some serious upside move. So yeah, thanks.
Very cool. Yeah, no, for sure. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one. Everybody else good, I assume. And I'll put this out. I'll put, it is recorded, so I'll it probably won't be till tomorrow because of how long it'll be to process it. So thanks for hanging out though, guys. I don't see any, I mean, I don't know if Neo, are you in here? Yeah,
I'm here.
You seeing anything
still
on
short.
yeah, it's
What
just
do you need?
staying short, right? No, I'm just wondering what you saw on, if you're seeing
No,
anything
I
on,
got in at
futures.
119, 12,119, and there's no reason to get out of it right now.
No, there's not.
I've
There's a
got
little-
stops at, I just moved my stop all the way down to 1210. I mean, 12,110. I need to learn how to say this correct.
Yeah, just 110,
then
but you're short,
yeah.
right? You said?
Yeah, I'm short right
Yeah.
now. Just 2 contracts, nothing fancy.
Yeah, no, it's pretty I mean, I guess you're sitting on that anchored VWAP on the 5-minute, but yeah,
The
anyways,
15
it
minute,
looks
we
like
keep
it's-
bouncing off the regular VWAP at 12,100.
Yeah, nice.
So-
Yeah, no, that's
I don't know what they're going to do. I'm going to try to get up. I'm going to sleep in tomorrow. Probably get up at 6 instead of 5.
yeah. I think, I mean,
can't-
it's fucking, where are you at? You're at Central Time?
I'm in
or something?
Indiana. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
Central.
Yeah.
And they canceled school tomorrow, so I have Camden again tomorrow. And AT&T will be here between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. hooking up my fiber.
Oh, that's right. You're getting the fiber. Yeah. So you're gonna be, you'll be in and out, but that'll be cool, man. Fiber. My neighbor in Georgia had it, man, installed, and we tried to get it, but we had it. Well, we tried a couple times, anyways. But he loved it, man, and it was pretty cool.
I don't even know if I'm going to notice a difference. They told me I only ordered the 500 gig because I get 1 gig cable internet.
Wait, you didn't
They
get
told
1
me-
gig?
No, they told me that 500, I can up it anytime. I'm not under contract. It's only
Yeah.
like $30 more.
Yeah,
And they were like, well, if you get the 500, it's the same as you're getting a gig on cable internet. The reason why you're going to think it's faster is because your upload speed will match your download speed.
yeah, that's the cool
So-
thing, man. You get such higher fucking upload speeds.
And I
but-
guess with trading, your upload speed's what matters. So
That's what I've heard too, though. Yeah, well, right, because it's you
and my
clicking and sending
upload
the
speed
order.
with cable,
Yeah,
the
it's
fastest
both, but
upload
yeah.
speed I can get with cable is 3550.
Yes, that's the
With
big
fiber,
difference, man.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, so we'll
100%,
see.
man. I've been talking to my buddy who owns the computer shop, man, or computer business. He's like, dude, you gotta get fiber. He's like, you gotta put it out here. And I'm like, man, I'm like, well, when the contract runs up, now that I know it's available, it's we already had a contract with Infinity, so
Yeah, I have Spectrum right now with no contract.
yeah, it's I don't know. I guess it's I'm pretty sure there's a contract with Xfinity. There's a deal. It's a good deal though, man. I mean, I got like 600 megabytes on the test. So I mean, it's super fast. I don't have any issues with it, but the upload speed is a big, it'd be interesting to play around, and I should go down to his office and trade. Because that's where he's got fiber anyway. So it would give me an idea, but
Yeah, well, I did a test at my buddy's and he pays for the 500. And where is it? The history here. And I did another test at his house tonight. And he only pays for 500, yet he was still getting 632 download and 705 upload.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
so I'll
No
try the
shit.
500 if I need it. I mean, because the only thing that's hardwired in my house is my trading station. Everything else
Yeah.
is ran on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, right. Yep.
So
But I mean, even dude, you seen the new mesh, that's what I have is the mesh.
Yeah,
Systems that are the 6,
I have a
Yeah.
$400 something router. It's a Linksys Smart something. That's a mesh router.
Yeah, you
Just
get
the router itself does 3,000 square feet without mesh. But if I need more than 3,000 square feet, I can add mesh, whatever intent is to it.
Yep. No, it's the same thing. It's they do have the newest, I don't know. Anyways, it's pushing speeds over the air, dude, that are like unheard of, right?
Yeah.
It's really interesting, but anyways, yeah. Actually I should run my test now because I don't technically right now I don't have it plugged in hardwired, but I'm so
I'll run a
so
Wi-Fi
close to
test.
it that
Well,
I
wait a minute.
wanna-
I'm hardwired on my Mac right now. Here, let me see what I get just on this. It says all the way Chicago, Illinois server. I don't know why, but I have it. It's weird. Yeah,
Man,
this is
it
weird.
just depends where I mean, it's wherever it takes you. I mean, I know up in Georgia, forget where it was from, but it was really fucking, it was different,
So I'm getting 80 download. Supposed to be getting a gig, but you never get what you're supposed to be getting unless you're
Yeah.
on fiber.
Yeah.
But I guess they say the reason why fiber's faster is because it doesn't have copper. Copper is what screws your upload speed. Yeah, I'm only getting
Yeah,
32
well,
uploads.
yeah, no, you're using fiber optics. I mean, it's amazing how much data can go, but and they can squeeze so many, I mean, fiber optic is so narrow, right?
Yeah.
But so they can
Well,
put
I don't
so
even know
many
how
of
they're
them
going to run
bunched
it to my
together.
house because they used a robot here about 8 months ago. They ran a robot down our entire utility pole line on this road and they wrapped fiber around our telephone pole. So ours isn't even underground. Ours is aerial. I guess it's a new thing they're doing because AT&T got a contract with Evansville and they're out here in the country, we get better internet than they do in the city.
It must
'Cause
run,
they-
but it must
yeah.
go down to the ground to get over to, well, or they run it, like, do your power lines go into the ground before they go to your house? Like, where's it?
Nope,
Where's
they
your
come
actual?
straight from the pole. The pole's
Okay, so
probably 50 feet from my house. So
Yeah, and that's what it was. I mean, I don't know, down here, a lot of things are, they're underground going to the house connection, but up north, it's whatever, it's fucking above the ground, and it's so yeah, that's probably
speaking of, here's your little
right?
divergence. Here's your little divergence. You just had the Dixie puke and we're just stalling. So this tells me if the Dixie picks up steam and picks back up, we're going to drop.
Yeah, I'm looking at.
I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. I put it to 12,105. Take a little.
Yeah, see, I mean, the DXY, I'm looking at it, even on the hourly, it really needs to get underneath that 102.
Yeah, but
and
it's
hold.
puking and we're stalling here. So as soon as the Dixie picks back up right here, NQ will come down. Oh, we're finally picking up a little bit. I don't know.
I know. No, I know. I'm watching. It's like
you see how much that's a big puke for DXY.
Let's see.
I mean,
yeah,
it don't look like much, but on a one, I always do put DXY on a 1 minute.
Yeah,
I don't know why. It's just a habit.
Yeah, I know. I used to too, and
even
I
the
keep it
oil
on. I can put on even with an hourly, dude, when I'm actually like watching it because it's doing, it's moving. I mean, I see the move. It really just. That's why I like the 5 minute. I can get like enough price and interaction. But I'll tell you this: when I'm in the last like 30 minutes, even, but definitely the last 15 minutes of the trading day, like I switch over to the 1 minute a lot of times. On futures,
TQ killed it. TQ killed it today. That last 15 minutes. I forget what she got, but she ran those nice.
Yes, no, she shot me a DM actually on Discord. What'd she say? She said, I got into some 40 70s at 66 cents, sold at $4. Not bad as it last 15 minutes. She's like, I took those based on what you were saying. Yeah, I mean, it was I was saying it was going to 40 70 on SPX for fucking, I mean, just made 40 65 and 40 70, right? Was the
40 70 was your SPX gap fill, and I think 40 80 was ES gap fill.
Right, yeah. No, but it's some other levels on the chart as well, but but yeah, SPX, that's where the top of the gap was. And it was
And
like,
from
once
what
we
I'm told-
broke the fucking bottom, dude. Well, yeah, SPX
Yeah.
always, it does always fill the gap. I mean, it doesn't mean it's gonna fill it that day, but in this market, bro, with the moves that we've had, it pretty much fills all the gaps. You know
Well,
what
I
I
guess
mean?
today was mutual fund balancing too.
Yeah. Oh, was it?
Yeah, the last day of the month.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. No,
And I
it's-
haven't seen an MOC order that big in I don't know how long, so.
No,
7
that's
billion,
why,
I
though.
think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why, but I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, that's the funny thing, man. You get those MOC orders and then you got I mean, I don't know. It was
There goes the
Trying to
NQ
pull
pump.
the,
Stop me out pretty quickly.
did it? I was gonna ask you if you're
Yeah,
still
oh, I
rocking
put it at, I put it at 105, so it just straight boop.
Yeah,
I was looking at Call of Duty to see if I was gonna play before I go to bed or just go straight to bed.
I know. All right, well, listen, I'm gonna go crash. You guys have a good one. We'll meet up in the morning.
All right, see you in the
Keep
morning.
it rolling. Yeah, see you guys.
All right, good night, thanks.
Yeah, buddy. See you later. Hey, James, let me know if you have if you got any questions about futures, man, if you're ready to go with them, fucking are you working during, well, you don't work during the day, I know, but like, what do you do during the day? Like when we're on? Are you just listening and trading or?
I do a little work. I do, listening, and then so yeah, I'm not around 100% of the time during the trading day, but I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll kind of let you know, kind of like you do, when you say, hey, I'm gonna be out for a little bit, whatever, because I do want to be more accountable. Because yeah, so anyway, so
Yeah, feel free to, well, I'm just thinking, yeah, I mean, futures or even stock, or if you're looking at SPX, man, I mean, I can sit there and chat, dude, but it's literally, if I'm there, like fucking, you can talk and ask questions. I mean, it's not, I mean, that's the whole point of it really too, I mean, obviously when I'm not there, it's like charts are on and it just gives people a place to kind of like talk and chill, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm happy. I mean, I totally get like, and how we teach, it's more about like, I want you guys to like make your own decisions, obviously. But at the same time, if you're like looking at something, don't be afraid to like ask, I mean, especially on the Zoom, dude, it's whatever, it's what we do it for, so.
right on. Yeah. Well,
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
cool.
look at futures, and if anything, I can, I don't mind like sharing my chart on that, for like, if equities are dead. Now listen, tomorrow maybe it's not the best day for it because we're moving around, but then again, we may be flat. And if we are, and we don't need to see the 8 chart layout, dude, we can easily, I pop on the futures for a little bit and just give you an idea of what I'm doing, So anyways, something to
Cool.
keep in mind, bro. Yep.
Will
All right,
do.
guys,
Right on.
have a good one. I'm gonna go crash. I need to go sleep.
Yeah, man. All right, good night.
Good night. See you guys.